way I've got it. I'm looking more towards the camera then.
Rudy is known as the millionaire real estate agent maker at Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. His passion is to help real estate agents and brokers 10x their income with no cold calling, no prospecting, and no door knocking. He has been featured on ABC, CBS, Fox News. Riz Media named him as the 2020 real estate newsmaker, and Exelon Magazine also named Rudy as a top 10 most admired business leaders in 2021.
Instead of focusing on your weakness, instead of trying to improve what you are weak on, if you want to be successful, focus on your strength, develop your God-given talent, because every single one of us, we all have this God-given talent, right? But then, if you don't practice, you don't develop your God-given talent, it's useless. Look at every athlete or anybody that's successful in their field. Do you think they're born like that? They practice every single day. Right. But they practice on the one thing. Yeah. The problem with real estate agents, DJ, they try to practice on the stuff that like 20 different stuff. So now they become average in everything.
Hello. Good morning. Hey, good morning, everybody. Today we are on a special Labor Day podcast with our superstars agent, Mr. Don Shea. Hey, Don, why don't you do a quick introduction on yourself? How long you been in the business? And when did you join the team?
Thanks, Rudy. Yeah, I've actually been in the business, and I love your introduction as far as saying God-given talents, because that's what I really feel that I try to use as far as that goes. I love what I do. I call it my ministry, and it's something that I've been working on. I've been doing real estate for over 13 years. Been a licensed real estate agent for over 13 years, and I actually have a mortgage background of over 10 years. So I use that combined ability to guide my clients in a number of different areas, as far as whether they're buyers or sellers. I work with investors, all kinds of individuals as far as that goes, and what they're looking for. And to me, one of the things that really helped me in my business is going back at one point in time, probably about 10 years ago, I kind of flipped the switch and thinking, how you get those tough agents or tough transactions. And a lot of agents will sit there and go, why do I always get these tough ones? Or why do I get the tough ones or whatever? And I flipped the switch. My thought process went from why do I get the tough ones to you don't learn anything from the easy ones. And you and I both know we're more valuable to our clients and to ourselves with the more knowledge that we have. And at that point in time, I went into a mode of trying to acquire more knowledge, taking on different roles and different things to acquire knowledge as far as working with investors, working on the mortgage side, getting all of that information. And I try to be an avenue for my clients, not just for real estate, but for other general information, all regarding the purchasing process, the selling process, and things like that.
Yes, especially now with all the changes going on with the NAR settlement, right? So this is the time that the professionals like you, Don, is your time to shine.
Yeah, and it's really been a blessing as far as that goes, because I do have those abilities, the information, and I'm starting to get a vast, especially through your system and the benefits that I've gotten from that. I'm getting investors that I'm working with, and I can pull that in. We just got finished with the closing about 3 or 4 weeks ago of 2 individuals that were just first-time buyers, but they were looking at, hey, doing a personal property that they're buying, but having an ADU for additional income. And my experience from that, their father was telling them, hey, get a new agent. I've got an agent for you. And at the end of that, they actually were thanking me, and they're glad that they stuck with me. And their father is actually now reaching out to find out more information because of the process as far as that goes.
Yep. So today, every Monday at 11 o'clock, I'm bringing to you guys our top superstars panel to help the real estate industry. So today, Don, What are you going to be sharing today? What are you doing well in this market today that you want to share to the consumers and also all the real estate professionals out there?
Well, to me, it goes back to a role, and to me, for this particular situation, I'm going to be talking about making an offer and getting your offer accepted. You want to write a clean offer. What's the process of doing that? What's my thought process of going into writing an offer, talking to the listing agent, working with my buyers, and all of that, and bringing the full package together. As a matter of fact, like that with the Jacqueline and Jessica, um, in that particular offer, the property had been on the market for less than a week. We made an offer at 4 days. We were in escrow on day 7, and we beat out 15 other offers. Our offer was actually financed, but we beat out a cash offer the listing agent actually said was just a little bit under our offer. But it's because of the process that I went through and how I communicated with them and worked with them that I actually had the agent advocating for me on that particular property.
Wow, that's beautiful, especially now post NAR settlement, post August 17, 2024, right? Today is September 2nd. The real estate landscape has changed, right?
Yeah, big time game changer. Big time
Yeah,
game changer.
and there's a lot of so the real estate agents that's going to thrive in this market is doing exactly what you are saying, which is there's a lot of negotiation involved, there's a lot of conversation involved. So take it away, Don. How can you share this just closed escrow this week, right?
Jessica and Jacqueline, they were closed about 3 or 4 weeks ago.
All right, so let's share real life best practices. How, when you work with buyers, how are you getting how to win multiple offers and beat out 15 other multiple offers, including how do you beat out the cash offers? Take it away, Don.
Yeah, and it really goes to the, like you said, the skill set. I've closed over 100 different transactions. I've been on probably 100 different inspections, and all of that. A lot of agents may not go out to those inspections. To me, once again, I'm learning information on every single one that I go on. I know that's what I love about real estate is no two transactions are the same, and you're going through different things. So part of my process is actually it starts when I'm actually showing properties to my clients. And if there's interest in a property, if they show interest, hey, this is one that they may be writing an offer on or may consider writing an offer on. Um, when we're driving, if we're going from one property to another, it depends on if we're going to another property, I'll actually reach out to the listing agent and start asking them questions. So I start interviewing the listing agent and getting in touch with them. I feel that's a vital part of the process. If it's at the very end, I'll let my clients know, hey, I will reach out. Or if I'm going through the process, and that's where I'm showing that I'm dedicated to them and I'm working for them. So if we're driving between properties, I'll let them know, hey, I just talked to this agent. This is some information that I found out about the property. If not, I'll let them know that I'm going to reach out to the listing agent and go from there. Um, and then when I do contact the listing agent, part of the process that I go through is it's almost an interview to a certain extent. My goal is to write as clean an offer as possible, because when I get into a multiple offer situation, and I'm a different agent when I'm in multiple offer situations, I write the offer differently than when I'm in just a single offer. Obviously, we all know that there's different things you have to look at and different things you have to find out about. But one of the things I do when I reach out to that agent is, hey, my clients love the property. I have some questions because I'd like to write a clean offer, as clean an offer as I can. And I stress this, I want to work with you to find out what you're looking for. So some of the things that I look at as far as I try to build rapport from the very beginning as far as that goes. So one of the things that I'll say to them is, hey, I'm surprised at how many agents don't reach out. How many agents have reached out, if there's a multiple offer situation, I get blind offers and I'm surprised. I'm like, okay, are these people actually working for their clients? Because if you're writing an offer blind without talking to the listing agent, you don't know what that seller wants. You don't know what's important to them. You don't know what's going on. And that's where I'm shocked. And a lot of times I'll get a response from the listing agent, echoing that same sentiment. And so I'm building rapport from the very beginning as far as that goes. Some of the other things that I do is, are you now with the new NAR settlement? One of the things that we look at is, are you offering concessions for the buyer's agent? And then you may go into more detail is, would that be in addition to total concessions, or is that just for that consideration? because there's now a question of, okay, what happens if you need closing cost and you need the buyer's agent compensation covered? So now that's something that you're starting to have to ask. And in some cases, you're reaching out to them in the very beginning just to find out, are they offering it? Because the MLS, you can't find that on the information anymore. And that's part of the NAR settlement. One of the other things I go through is, how much interest has there been? Have you had a lot of activity? Is the seller motivated? Are you anticipating any offers? Or do you have any current offers? Because that will change the direction that I go. Or, hey, if I'm out driving, I'm showing the properties and I find out, hey, they've got offers on this property, then it's a matter of, then I can give my clients a sense of urgency and the information that they know and they're aware, so that they're aware of what's going on with that particular property as far as that goes. Another part of the process is there anything that the seller needs or is looking for? Because I want to find out how I can, in order to beat out these other offers, I need to make my offer as attractive to the seller as possible. And to me, as clean, because you got to think about it. If you've got 15 offers in front of you and I have to counter 14 of them, but one of them is clean, what's the listing agent going to think about? Okay, if he counters all of them, they now have 72 hours or 24 hours or whatever to respond. And now it's putting it back into the buyer's field as far as that goes. Where if I can write a clean offer and they can just sign it, we're in escrow. It's deal done. We're ready to go and it's over with as far as that goes. So that clean offer can make or break the situation, because if they can just sign my offer and they don't have to counter it based on my conversation with the listing agent, we can open escrow today. But if they counter, then they're waiting for a response from the other side. So it all depends on what that situation is and what's important to the sellers as far as that goes. Another part of the questions that I have is, do they need to stay in the property for an extended period of time? Do we need to do an SIP as far as that goes? Are they looking for a short or long-term escrow? We've got a lender that can do a 21-day close. They guarantee a 21-day. Do they need 30 or 45? Do they need it extended out to 60? Do the sellers need that additional time? Are they contingent upon finding a replacement property? These are all questions that I'm asking, and the listing agent will get the idea of, hey, he's doing his homework. He's going to write a clean offer. With that, do you have any offers or potential offers? If so, I'll actually ask him, are you near, are you above, where are you at on the offers? You might even ask what is the highest offer? Some agents may say, I can't disclose that information. They feel that it's a conflict for their sellers. To me, to a certain point, it depends on what your conversation is with your sellers, because it's a situation where, hey, if you're trying to negotiate the highest and you can say, hey, this is the highest that I have, that may either take out an individual, or they may say, hey, I need to go higher than that. So it may push the value up. And so that's really, it depends on the individual agent and how they look at it. If your job is to negotiate the contract and negotiate for the highest value for what the client is looking for. What is the seller looking for? In all cases, it may not be that the seller is looking for the highest price. They may be looking for the additional terms of, hey, I need a 30-day or I need a 45-day rent back. I need a longer escrow. So that's where I get into those types of questions as far as that goes. Part of the other thing that I do is, how quickly do you need or you respond to offers? Some will hold them, hey, I'm going to hold them over the weekend and we're going to respond to all the offers on Tuesday. Okay. That gives me a different frame of mind of, okay, when do I need to get my offer in? What's going on with it? Versus, hey, no, we respond to each offer as they come in. So if they respond to each offer as they come in, then hey, maybe I want to get my offer in as quickly as possible. And it's a question of, hey, what do we need to do in order to open escrow tomorrow? What kind of an offer do we need? And can I write that offer? Because if that's the case, they're going to respond quickly. Then, hey, that's what I'm looking for. How can I get? And I've done that before, where I've actually gotten into escrow in a matter of a day because I talked to the agent and found out. And then, hey, an hour after our offer came in and got accepted, they got another offer that was higher. I beat them to the punch because I needed to find out what that was all about as far as that goes. Um, so those are things to keep in mind as far as that goes. When are you, if
Love
they're going to hold them, when are they going to present the offers? So was there something you wanted to say, or,
Love it, love it. No, I was about to say I love it, man. Yes, I love the fact that you are not just an order takers, right? You know what an order takers
oh
done is.
yeah,
Okay, I'll
yeah,
just do it, right? You are a true advocate for the consumers.
yeah.
And it begins with that conversation. It begins with the negotiation. And negotiation, all it is really what you just explained just now, Don. Really what you are doing, you are trying to figure out what is most important to the other side. Once you know what's most important on the other side, then you can restructure your deal. Let me tell you, Don, there's a good story on negotiation. I'll share with you this. And this is exactly what you did beautiful.
Hmm.
One story on negotiation, Don. Let's say I have two sons, right? Hugo and Karsten. And let's say I have one banana. And my boys, they're like fighting on this one banana, right? So, and one of my son, he really likes banana, and I know the other ones, they don't like it, but they just want to have everything equal, right? They just want
Hmm.
to have everything equal, because one of my sons say it's not fair. They just have to have everything equal. Everything just have to be split equally. And so once you discover what's most important, so I asked my other son, Hugo, who don't like banana, I was like, hey, why are you fighting this banana? You don't even like banana. And he's actually working on a school project. My younger son Hugo, he's very artistic, so he's working on a school project, and his plan is to use the banana skin for one of his school projects.
Hmm.
And my first son, Karsten, he just want to eat the banana. So in negotiation, once you discover what the other side wants and needs, so these two guys, Hugo and Karsten, my younger ones, they just like to have the skin of the banana, and the first one just like to have the banana itself. So what they do, Don, they each can get what they
Yep.
want. And that's exactly what just described, Don. Because most people, they in real estate negotiation, Don, they always like to go to split the difference. They always talk about splitting 50-50. The problem with splitting 50-50 is that now you have two people. Can you imagine? I have two sons. I split the banana. So now you have two sons who walk away not happy. Right.
Hmm.
So I think when I listened to the way you described just now, Don, really what you did is before you even write your purchase agreements, you figuring out what is most important to them. Let's talk more about that, Don, because I think in this market today, this is the one skill that's going to make a real estate agent's going to thrive to the moon and basically just go out of business. Talk more about that.
Well, I mean, really what it comes down to, and I've talked to listing agents in this, our job is to negotiate an acceptable deal to both parties. It's not to get the upper hand. It's not to screw the other side. It's to negotiate an acceptable deal for both parties. So when I'm looking to write an offer, I'm looking to write it as attractively for the other side. And once I find out what's on that other side, it may be a matter of, hey, I can offer less money for my clients because I can give them, hey, they need a 45-day continuation. Fine, then I'll write a little bit, maybe a lower offer, but I'll give them that 45 days at no cost. Or, if we're trying to stay here in California, if we're trying to stay within that 29 days so that you don't get into a tenancy situation, hey, we can give them 29 days and we'll do a 45-day escrow, and that'll give them the 45 days. So you're looking to move your offer and make your offer attractive for them, but also working on behalf of your clients as far as that goes. And that's something that I've done a number of times as far as, hey, we'll extend escrow and we'll give you SIP for 29 days, which is seller in possession, which means they can stay in the property for up to 29 days. You can either do it at a cost, you can do it at no cost. So there's differences of opinions on how you do that, but that's one of the things that you can definitely negotiate on. And that's where if you can create a win-win situation on both parties and they're walking away where they feel happy about it. And that's one thing. I mean, I love what I do because I literally Jessica was almost in tears because I mean, we literally started in Riverside looking for a home. And as we had conversation, as we were looking, I mean, we ended up looking in San Pedro and we looked at Compton and we looked in areas of LA and things like that. And we went through about a 2-3 month process. Actually, it was a little bit longer. Yeah, about a 3 month process when we finally found the property. We actually got into escrow on one property. It was a flip. They loved the property, it was in great condition. There were some issues with it when we got into escrow and we did our inspection. So we were kind of holding off on that. And in the process of doing that, a property actually came up in Inglewood, which was where they were from. And as we went, we started out with a single family residence. And that's once again talking and becoming aware of what your clients are really looking for, what their underlying. So to me, it's not just about the sale. It's what are your goals? What are you looking to do in the next 3 to 5 years or longer? What's your plan for this property? Are you going to stay in it 3 to 5 years? You're going to be in it up to 10 years. What are you doing with the property? Why this area? There's a lot of things that go into working with the buyer and going, what's your why? What are you looking to accomplish? And when we first started looking, they were looking at single family residence. Now, dad got it in their mind that, hey, we can do ADUs. And here in California, once again, the ADUs is something that is hot right now. Can you add one? There's actually investors that are coming out, and for every property that can be legally put on. So if you have a R2 residential 2 where you can have 2 homes, you can then put 2 ADUs on it. So now you can have 4 homes potentially. So that works out a lot with investors. And it does work out for some buyers that can do invest some money, but then turn around and have income coming in off of that ADU. So listening to what their wants and needs were, they found that there was a property that they found that came up in Inglewood because we were already in contract. And when they found this property in Inglewood, it's like, hey, Don, we really like it. And like I said, they came on the market on a Thursday. One of them viewed it on a Saturday open house. I met them on a Sunday. Offers were in on Tuesday. Multiple counter offers were in on the Wednesday, and we opened escrow on Thursday. And the thing about that is this particular property had a additional, it was zoned where it was single family residence, but it had a large enough lot. It had a secondary garage that was a two big garage. They're going to convert that into an ADU, and this is their initial launch, if you want to call it. They're going to live in the property, but they're going to convert that into an ADU for rental income, and then they'll be looking for, in the future, additional properties. Now, one of the things I love about your system is that with that, we actually have access to attorneys, which is another thing. It's another added benefit that people get with using an agent from Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty in our area. We have the access to the attorneys. So they actually reached out to the attorneys on 2 bases. One, how do they take title? So as a client of mine, they have access to attorneys before, during, and after the transaction. So with that, they reached out, okay, how do we take title? I'm not a professional. I'm not an attorney. I can't give out that information, but hey, I can put you in touch with an attorney that they can answer that question. The other question that they had after that is how, once we take title, okay, they took it in a certain fashion, but then it was recommended that they put it into a trust and possibly an LLC as they get it into that investment type property. So that's one of the things to look at. But the thing is with Jessica, like I said, she almost broke down in tears as we were talking about at the day of closing. I mean, I met them at the property, had a couple of gifts for them as far as closing gifts, but we were discussing it and we reminisced on, hey, we started in Riverside 3 months ago. We went here, here, and here. We were actually in escrow on this other property, but you were able to get us this property. And she literally didn't think they had a chance. And because of the situation, like I said, that's one of the things that I talk about. We've got a great lending partner, Andrew. He reached out, and I had him reach out to the other side and talk about, hey, we've got strong buyers. They're ready to go, ready, willing, and able. We actually had them, and this is another thing that I talk about. What kind of offer are you making? We actually had a fully underwritten loan. And so he was able to actually talk to the listing agent and go, hey, it's not dependent upon our clients. It's dependent upon your home qualifying for this loan. So how powerful is that? And that's why we were able to beat out that cash offer. We had the loan locked up. It was fully underwritten. The underwriter already looked at the buyer's criteria. It was a matter of, once again, the property was what it was going to take that needed to qualify at that point in time. And we closed that loan, we closed that transaction in 21 days, which was another benefit. That was one of the added things in talking to the individuals. These individuals had already moved out of state. It was a vacant property. So they were paying the mortgage on it. They were carrying, the note. So they were paying interest on a daily basis. They wanted to get this closed so they could go ahead and move forward in the other state. And we were able to write a 21-day closing period as far as that goes. And we were able to shorten up the time frames as far as the inspection, appraisals, and other things. I mean, so in doing that, we made our offer stronger, and we would have actually closed sooner. But because Inglewood has a certain requirement on permit or on inspections, the city has to inspect the properties. We were held up for that city inspection to come through, and we closed in that 21-day period. So that was something that, once again, it's very powerful.
Wow, lots of good stuff. So let me recap. So step number one, what you did, you have a conversation, and this is what most real estate agents are missing out, right? So you have a conversation with the other side, figuring out what's most important for them. The second is that you are talking, I'm taking notes here as you speak just now. So the second thing is showing homes, including homes that's not available online. We're going to circle back to that. Okay, Don, talk about off-market deals, unlisted properties. How are you able to show homes, including homes that's not available online? The next thing is that when you hold the title, the consumer is asking you how to hold title. You have access, as part of your team, you have access to an attorney who's specialized in that area of law, which is asset protection, which is very powerful, because what you don't want to do, as a real estate professional, to give them legal advice. Well, first of all, like you mentioned just now, Don, we are not an attorney. Number two, it's illegal for us to give legal advice. So you connect them with an attorney who specializes in that area of law. So that's powerful. Asset protection attorney. And then the next thing you talk about, you have a strong relationship with your lender's partner, right? You mentioned about Andrew, and you mentioned about full loan underwritten approval. And then last, you mentioned about writing a strong offers. Now, Don, can we circle back to, can you talk more about the importance of, you kind of touch it, but let's dwell a little bit more on the power of strong relationship between you and Andrew. Why is that so important for the real estate agents to have a strong relationship with the LO? And also, you mentioned something about full loan underwritten approval. Now, for the consumers here watching this, and Don, can you share what is a pre-qualification, what is a pre-approval, what is a DU approval, and what is the one that you just mentioned just now, which is a full loan underwritten approval?
And that's where the approvals, are they worth the paper that they're written on, as far as that goes? So as a mortgage lender, one of the things you're looking at is, okay, a pre-approval. Okay, I mean, there's literally, at some point in time, there's some lenders out there that, oh, you need a pre-approval, fine. How much do you need? What property? They'll send over a pre-approval without really even doing anything. They may ask the client, hey, how much do you make? What do you do? Things like that. But there's no documentation that has been sent in. Now, my lenders, the lenders that we work with, they'll actually get the documentation. They're looking for the documentation before they write the pre-approval. So that may be the case of, okay, they need tax returns, they need W-2s, they need bank statements, things like that they need to see and verify in order to write that pre-approval. So pre-approval is just, hey, it's supposed to be verified, and it's something that the lender has looked at and said, yes, this is good based on this information. So that's where that type of situation, okay, pre-approval. Now, if you go into, like you said, what is a DU, desktop underwritten? So there is a website, or basically on the government loans, FHA, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, they have a pre-qualifying situation. So now, but it's information in, information out. Depending on how good of the information that the individual has, the lender has, if they have good information, then fine, they're putting in good information. But if they have information that's not quite good or isn't quite full, then they maybe get them back a misrepresentation as far as that goes. So in that, through Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, they have the DU approval. So they, based on the information that they've collected, they can put in, okay, here's the assets, here's the income, here's, you know, the property, here's the down payment. So they're getting debt to income ratios, DTI. They're getting the loan to value information. Are they putting down 5%, 10%, whatever? And based on all those, it goes through a computer, and the computer will spit out what they call a DU approval. So there's a number of things that can be done. It can be require a manual underwrite. It can be a full approved, you know, eligible, as far as that goes, where they've already have a underwritten eligibility, or they could have a denial. So with the DU, they've gotten the information, they put it in the system, it's all verified according to that. But then to go one step further, and we have the benefit of working with a lender that can do this. A DU approval does the electronic, you know, software version. A fully underwritten approval means that not only has the loan officer looked at the information, but it's actually gone to an underwriter. And the underwriter will then evaluate the paycheck stubs, the W-2s, the bank statements, all of that. So an actual underwriter who underwrites the loan will look at that and then say, yes, based on this information that I verified, they'll give that approval. That's strong. I mean, that's almost a cash situation, because once again, Andrew was able to reach out to this particular agent, the listing agent, and say, we've got a DU approval. The only thing that we need verification of is that your property is eligible. And so that's very powerful, very strong. And then as far as the other thing is it helps to accelerate it. So the lender has a 21-day guarantee, but if they've already gotten all the information, already had it in front of an underwriter, all of those contingency portions are taken out of it. So are conditions, as far as in the loans, you get loan conditions. The borrower's loan conditions are already taken out. So now it goes back to the property. So that 21-day, I mean, I know in our office, we've actually had a 12-day loan closed. And that's powerful when I can sit there and go, hey, we can do this as quickly as possible. And that's what I was telling the agent on the other side. Hey, we'll do 21-day guarantee, but we could close this in possibly as little as 12 to 14 days. And once again, it got into a situation where we were held up because of the city inspection. And the individual, they had already ordered it prior to opening escrow. They had already ordered the inspection. So it took them 21, 24 days to get the inspection. And that's what we were waiting on. Otherwise, we could have closed sooner. And yes, that is powerful. So that's where we were able to beat out not only the communication, and Andrew, you know, have a lending partner that will reach out and literally tell them, our buyer is solid. We're ready to go. We're approved. It's going to be conditioned upon your property qualifying. That's powerful.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Now, Don, in this market today, post NAR settlement, we had to have a conversation with the clients. Now, for us in our team, it's nothing new. We've been teaching our agents partner in the team on how to have a conversation with our clients like 8 years long time ago. But we are doing this video podcast to help also other real estate professionals in this industry. So, Don, can you speak on what are some of your best practices when you meet the buyers for the first time? Why would the buyers hire you over and above thousands of other real estate agents in the area, right? How do you compel the buyers to work with you exclusively over and above thousands of other agents? So let's say I'm the clients, the first time I meet you, like, what do you do? Can you go a little bit more details on some of the best practices on working with buyers post NAR settlement?
Yeah, so post NAR settlement, a big part of it, you talk about it, is what is the value? You needed to have that added value. Why use you over Joe Schmo? We're not, pardon the phrase, hey, professional door openers. There's a lot that goes into it. You've got part-time agents, you've got agents that do a little bit of work, but you don't have, there's some agents that I look at and I'm going, okay, are you a professional? You know, like I said, when I get blind purchase agreements from agents that haven't reached out to me as a listing agent, I go, okay, are you really working for your client? Are you working in their best interest? Because we have a fiduciary responsibility. I'm a different agent when I am working on the buy side than when I'm working on the listing side because I understand the process and I understand the differences. And who are you protecting? You're supposed to protect your client. That's utmost number one as far as that goes to me. And when you do that, that's a matter of looking at, okay, what are the skill sets? What are the values? And that's something that I tell, I let them know. And part of it is through stories, and they'll see that when I'm going through and showing properties. I've been on over 100 inspections. I've been out with termite inspections and I can walk through and I can see, okay, is there dry rot? Is there termite? Are these situations? And I'll point those things out to my clients as we're walking through properties. Now, you've got to now with the NAR settlement, you've got to get certain information or try to instill certain information up front that, hey, I've closed over 100 transactions. I've negotiated on over 100 different properties. Um, I have the experience of working with investors. I've had the experience of working with contractors. I've had the experience of working with different individuals, different trades and things like that. There's certain situations that I've had to negotiate and change up things as far as that goes, depending on, hey, we've got a uh, uh, inspection report. What do we do with the inspection report? So all of that is, like you said, and I do talk about the fact that we have attorneys that you have access to before, during, and after. If you sign this agreement, hey, you get access to attorneys immediately. You're now a client of mine. And that's one of the benefits that we have. You get access to my lender. By the way, my lender, we beat out these, and it's not the first time that that's happened, in a situation where I've had the lender reach out a number of times to the other side, and I make that a habit. And I now push to have that DU, or not DU, but the fully underwritten approval on every single transaction when I'm getting ready to write an offer. I'm like, hey, we need to have that DU because that's going to add strength to our offer. So it's what you're doing. What is the benefits of working with you versus working with another agent? So to me, it's the experience, the knowledge, and that goes back to um, where before, to me, when I flip that switch, it's not why do I get the hard ones? It's what am I learning from each and every one? And here at 13 years, in the mortgage or in the real estate industry, I'm still learning. I don't know everything. I'm not an I know a lot, but I'm still learning. And as the other thing is with the NAR settlement, that's another thing is that's a change in the industry. So now we have to be flexible and work with that. So there's how you're able to pivot, how you're able to work within that structure. And that's going to take on a whole new skill set of, okay, we need to now, I can't show a property without having a representation agreement signed with that buyer. It's against the settlement. And I could potentially lose my license. I can get fined. And that's something that I have to stress to them is, hey, and it's not just me. Any agent that you are working with, you're going to need to sign an agreement. So it's a matter of showing the skill set, showing the benefits. Why should they work with you? And to me, in that face to face, I mean, more times than not, they see the benefit of working with me, especially when I'm walking through properties and I'm pointing certain things out. Because I'm looking out for different things, and it's not just to be nitpicky. I mean, we were just walking through a $2.1 million condo in San Clemente. And talking to the individuals, it's in great shape. But when I was showing in the same complex, there was a 1.5 million, $1.6 million listing. And we looked at that one and I kind of pointed a few things out to the clients there. But in our conversation, because of my investment experience, it's okay, we need to do this. They still had fluorescent lighting, in a $1.6 million property. They had granite countertops, but that wasn't what the client was looking for. She's like, hey, she's got to put another $200,000 into this property. And it's like, hey, I've got contacts that can help you with that. And then going through another property, it was in great shape. The 2.1 was in great shape. And I noticed, okay, one of the plugs there, it was a burnt plug. And it just was a matter of pointing it out. Not like we're going to call that out, not necessarily that we're going to call that out or ask for it in a repair request, but it's just a knowledge of they see my attention as I'm walking through the property what I'm looking for, because I'm trying to do what's in their best interest and make them aware. I mean, there's properties that I've walked through and okay, I know there's termites, I know there's mold, I know there's this, the M word, the 4-letter word in real estate for that starts with an M. That's something that if I see and I have to be careful. I'm not a mold expert. I'm not certified in that. However, I can point out, hey, this area is darkly discolored. There may be an issue there. And that's something that we'll take up or I may discuss with the listing agent. It depends on the situation. I may or may not discuss it prior to writing an offer. And that's where you have to take a look at is what information do you give up? I don't want to make it look like I'm going to be a difficult individual to work with, but I do want to make sure that the other side understands that I'm well informed, I'm well versed, and I'm looking out for my clients. So there's certain things that you may or may not put in an offer. And it's hey, we need to get an escrow and then we'll determine what the situation is. And that's something that we've discussed. What's great about our office is we have mastermind sessions. We've got a lot of office meetings and things like that, where you hear from the top agents in the office and they're able to help you determine and get information as far as that goes. And it's a matter of, okay, do you want to put that in or do you not want to put that into the offer? And hey, let's get it accepted and move in. And then from there, we will go ahead and determine, what direction to go from there, because that's part of our contingency period. That's part of the inspection. So there's certain things to take a look at. You don't want to put too much in that's going to, and once again, to me, it goes back to writing a clean offer. What is the other side looking for? Hey, if I'm an agent that, hey, yeah, I've got solid buyers, they're excited about it, they're flexible, they're ready to go. That's what I'm trying to instill. And that's the case as far as, hey, we're ready to go. We're going to make this a smooth, clean transaction. And
Yep.
that's why you want to get into escrow with us. That's why hey, pick me, that's what you want to do.
For those of you just joining in the show this morning, we have Mr. Don Shea talking about working with buyers in this market today. So this is what Don is talking about. He's talking about offer research. There are 8 elements. There are 8 elements that a buyer's agent have to do when working with buyers. So Don touched majority of this, and I just want to recap here, Don, for our audience so they can see what you I thought what you share is very powerful. So thank you for sharing. So this is what Don is talking about. He's talking about offer research. As a buyer's agent in this market today, well, what Don is really, really good at, as he just shared with you just now, is that to get you the best deals, we need to create a strategic offers that the seller feels compelled to accept. See, the whole idea, if you really pay attention to what Don is saying, he designed the offers that's compelling, that's important for the sellers, for the listing agent. And the way he does it is through his skills, his negotiation skills, meaning having a conversation with the listing agents to figure out. So look at this, what Don has just explained. If you pay attention to what Don has been saying at the beginning, you see this, Don, to make a perfect offers. The strategic positioning, number one, you truly understand what's most important for the customers. Competitive offers. Just now, Don is talking about, we call it here in our office, we call it, what do we call that, Don? The ultimate offer package.
Yep.
I was like, it slipped out of my mind. So the ultimate offer package, that's the competitive offers and your offer itself. What is your unique selling proposition? So that is what Don has explained here this morning here. So the research that we do to arrive at this offer includes, but not limited to. So this is some of the conversation that Don is having with the sellers. How long this home has been on the market? How many showings have they been getting? Why the seller is selling? What's most important for the owner of the house? What does the seller need in terms of time frame for the sale? What price do they need? Have they rejected any offers? What did they pay? John, did I do a good job summarizing as you are talking? I'm taking notes here.
Yeah, you did a great job. Although Rudy, that doesn't end. My research doesn't end there. So to add to my research, I actually go to the property profile. So actually, after I finished talking to the listing agent, and that's when, I mean, my initial contact with the listing agent is when my client shows interest in making an offer. So once they're interested in making an offer, I'm trying to give them the information they may need that may give, hey, yes, they're ready, they're motivated. We could even potentially get this for a lower price or whatever. You know, I'm trying to give them information that may help them to make the decision to move forward on that. But when we're ready to make an offer, I go even deeper. So part of that is I look at the property profile, the title information, who owns the property. Is it an LLC? Is it an investment group? An investment group is going to be different than a individual party, which is going to be different than a trust. So who are you working with as far as on the other end? And part of that rapport that I'm looking to build with the listing agent is, is the name on title the same as I need to write the offer? And I've actually found out, and that shows the other side that I'm trying to write that clean offer. And I've actually had them tell me, no, it's not this. This is the names that you need to put on it. So once again, they don't have to counter my offer, which is very powerful. And it's going to make a difference on how do I approach it based on what kind of entity owns the property. On ours, the public information, you can find out as far as when did they buy the property? What are the possible motivations? How long have they owned it? Hey, they've owned the property for 40 years. It's been in the family for 40 years and they're looking to sell. Okay, fine. Then that gives me and I look at the mortgage information on top of that. Is there any money owed on the property? Are they going to be carrying interest on a mortgage payment? If so, how much? How much equity is in the property? Depending on the situation, is there a possible carryback? Do they have enough equity to carry? I've actually done where the seller has been the lender, as far as that goes. We did a seller carryback, we're actually literally, my clients put money into escrow. We did a 5-year note. My clients came in and in 2 years, they refinanced out of that note, but they were able to get the property in that situation that they wanted with beneficial terms. And we accommodated the seller for what they needed to do, but we were able to get our client in a situation. And that's where this property would not have been standard financeable. So with that benefit of, once again, looking at how to do things, if you can structure the offer in a way, there's not many people that could have made that offer. My clients literally, they walked in with $200,000 in equity because it was 95% completed. The final sign off was not done on the property. All they had to
Good.
do was finish out the kitchen appliances and the flooring, and they could do their financing. Well, there's not a lot of people that could come in. So my clients put, on a $750,000 purchase, they put $200,000 down. The seller carried $550,000 at 5%. We gave them a great rate. I mean, this is when rates were down 2 or 3.5%. We gave them 5%. So it benefited the seller as far as that goes. They were able to sell a property that they couldn't sell otherwise to a retail buyer, end user, rather than having to sell it to an investor at a lower price. So you've got to look at how is what is that property profile giving me? Based on the equity situation, based on the mortgage, there's different ways to look at that on, once again, how am I going to structure the offer? What am I going to do? How can we create that win-win? All of that additional information goes into, now I'm trying to get into the mind of the seller to be able to write an offer once again. What are they looking for? If it's an investor that's flipping, hey, they're going to look for probably bottom line. How quickly can I get rid of this property and for top dollar? If you're dealing with a trust, it may be, hey, this property needs some work. There's some certain things that need to be done to it. How do they get rid of the property? So based on the information that I get from the profile, I'm actually taking that into consideration. And I go through that. That's the other thing that I do is I go through that information with my buyers to let them go, this is the thought process coming behind this. This is why we're doing this. And I've been able to get offers that, once again, accepted based on that thought process of what is it that this end seller is trying to accomplish based on what kind of entity is it. So that's where, doing the research and getting that information up top, it's just one more thing that adds leverage on your purchasing. And you always talk about it. What's that pain? What's the reason that they're selling? And if I can find that out, then that's what I'm trying to work with and going back and going, hey, we can accomplish what you're looking to do by doing this. And here's the offer structured in order to allow you to do that.
That's powerful, man. I think, Don, this is the one skill the one skill that real estate professionals have to step up is exactly what you're talking about, the negotiation skills. Because in the past, really, buyer's agent, if you're working with buyers in the past, when I say in the past, like prior to August 17, all you need to do, if you open the right door, right, basically that you get paid. So for those of you just joining the show here this morning, we are here with our superstar agent partner, Don Shea, and Don is talking about how he's helping you, the consumers, to unlock the best deals when buying a home. He shared about his strategic, how he's putting together the offers to win multiple offers in this market today. So to recap, this is kind of summarize what Don has been sharing. And Don, feel free to jump in at any time here. But to summarize, these are the 8 processes, guys. When you're working on buying a home in this market today, when you interview the real estate agents to help you in this market today, this is the kind of skills that you are looking for in a real estate agents to represent you in the buying of a house. So these are the 8-step process. So I'm going to summarize what Don has mentioned just now. Step number 1, it's to the loan approval. So he mentioned just now about getting a full loan underwritten approval, and how it benefits you is that you can beat out multiple offers. Don, can you share in real life, Don, when you connect with your with the mortgage lenders that you're working with, like how is this conversation about different type of mortgage loans takes place in real life?
Well, the conversation depends on what the individuals are looking. Once again, what they and that's once again part of our skill set as a professional real estate agent. I'm blessed in the fact that I do have that mortgage background, although I'm doing very little on the lending side right now. I am doing more on the real estate side, and we've got a great lender that I'm happy to pass off, work to as far as that goes. As a matter of fact, a lot of times I was like, hey, ask him, because I'm too busy right now. But it's one of those situations where it allows you to, when you have that lending professional that you can work with. I mean, even one of the agents in our office was talking about Chandler, who's another agent or another lender that we worked with. He said Chandler reached out to the listing agent or to the buyer and got the buyer sold on using them as far as that goes, because the conversation they had. And they're lending professionals. That's what they're doing 100% of the time. So when you have them that can work closely, they can reach out and actually lock in the buyer and get them pre-approved in the same day. I mean, that's awesome as far as that goes, and that's teamwork, and that's what we're all about. I have a team. I'm a real estate agent. I do listings and I do buyers. I work with both, but I'm outside. We've got a ISA. We've got inside sales agents. We've got transaction coordinators. We've got the lenders. We have people who specialize. We have people who do the marketing for us. So we can spend our time focusing on our clients and giving them our devotion as far as that goes. And then we can turn these other parts over to the other entities to finish the process as far as, hey, paperwork. We're still in charge of it, but we have a transaction coordinator that we work with that will make sure all of the paperwork is completed in the way that it needs to be done, that keeps us compliant, especially with what is it, 28 new forms here in California, Rudy? I mean, we've been having daily and weekly, and we've been with the attorneys and everything as far as that goes. It's a learning curve, and there's going to be a lot of people that are going out of the business,
So Don,
yeah.
Oh, sorry. So the first step that we do for our clients is to help them getting pre-approved. So when you connect with the clients, Don, how long does it take for the mortgage team to go through this debt to income ratio, loan to value, credit history, income and employment, FICO score? How long does it take from the first time you connect to our mortgage team all the way until the full loan underwritten approval that you're speaking about just now?
So it really goes back to the client, the buyer. How quickly will they get the documentation to the lender as far as that goes? I know Chandler, they were mentioning that in 4-hour period, they had DU approval because the buyer was able to send in the documentation that was needed. She could verify that and then go from there. Now, to get a a fully underwritten, it may take a day or two because the lender needs the information. So they need the W-2s, the pay stubs and all of that. They can then take that and turn it over to the underwriters, submit the file for the and the benefit of the lender that we use is their underwriter is right there. Their desk is here, the underwriter's over there.
They're like
And the
face to
same,
face, basically.
yes, they're in the same office. So one of those that, that's a huge benefit because if you can get, you might be able to push a day, give them two, and you're pretty solid as far as that goes. And that's where I encourage my clients to go ahead. Hey, let's get this process started as quickly as possible, because I've literally had offers. Hey, we lost out on a property because they weren't ready to go. They didn't have their loan underwritten as far as that goes. And or they didn't have the information in for even the DU. So it's a situation where I try to stress that to clients and let them know that it's one of those situations where I encourage you to get pre-qualified as quickly as possible. And one of the advantages of the team that we use is they can actually do what's called a soft pull. They don't have to do, you're not going to take a hit on your credit to get pre-approved. They can do a soft pull, they can verify certain things, and then they can get you a pre-approval letter. Now you will need to go through a full hard pull when you're ready to write the offer and ready to go. But at that point in time, obviously they're dedicated and they're ready to go. But by being able to do that soft pull, it does help a lot of buyers and it eases their mind on, hey, it's not going to affect my credit. So that's one thing to keep in mind. But yeah, they can get it done. I mean, they can get you a pre-approval within less than a day. It just depends on how urgent or what's going on. And we've got more than one, like I said, there's Andrew, there's Sean, there's Chandler, there's others that are available, but we can get that situation taken care of in the process. Because our team, there's always one that's pretty much available to go ahead and respond, answer questions, or get the client going.
Is there any cost, Don, to get this pre-approval to run the credit and stuff, like everything?
No,
that
there's
you
actually,
just
the lenders that we work with, there's actually no upfront cost. In actuality, they'll pay for the appraisal, and they'll actually pay for multiple appraisals if you fall out of escrow. So for Jessica and that can save money. I mean, so for Jessica and Jacqueline, that saved probably $1,500 because we had an appraisal on the first property. We canceled that. They had the appraisal on the second property. And if they went a third, a fourth, or a fifth, it wasn't going to cost them as far as that goes. So yeah, there's no upfront cost. I mean, that's one of the benefits of it. Rudy puts together a great team. I mean, and that's the benefit of working with a solid team.
Yep. So when you get together with our mortgage team, not only you're gonna get that full underwritten approval, the one that Don was talking about, and part of that conversation also is to identify programs that might save you money. So, for example, there are grants money, that down payment assistance, tax credit associated with certain loans. So these are all the conversation that you have with the mortgage team. Also, when you get together with Don, with our mortgage team will assist you in getting you asset verified, right? So step number one, when you work exclusively with our team, when you're buying a home in this market today, getting the loan approval, identify loan options to assist you in getting pre-approved. Identify programs that can save you money, right? For example, down payment assistance, getting you assist you in getting your assets verified. And how it benefits you, we work with lenders to help us demonstrate to the sellers in compelling way how strong a buyer you are. This is exactly what Don is talking about. We work with loan officers that's going to help you get your offer accepted. Don, I know you shared it way at the beginning. We have many other people who just joining the show now. For those people that came in a little bit late, can you just recap the benefits of the lenders who can help us to demonstrate to the sellers in a compelling way how strong a buyer you are, and therefore your offer is more likely to get accepted?
Oh yeah, like I said, with Andrew on the offer where we beat out 15 other offers. So in that process, I went through my process as far as in the week leading up to our acceptance, in the 6 days leading up to our acceptance, I talked to the listing agent 6 or 7 times. So I talked to him as soon as I found out there was interest from my buyers. I talked to him when I was getting ready to write the first offer. I talked to him in the process of getting that offer, and then when he was going to do multiple offers, who he was going to counter, how he was going to counter it. I talked to him when I was writing my counter offer and what if there was anything else that we needed to do on that. And then the thing is Andrew actually reached out 3 times to the listing agent and spoke with the listing agent 3 times. And like I said, that third time, because we did push, when we made the initial offer on Sunday, we didn't have the fully underwritten approval. When we went through the counter offer, we had the fully underwritten approval. And so that's what helped us to go ahead and do that. Not only the fully underwritten approval, but Andrew's assurance of, hey, the buyers are solid. It's dependent upon your home.
Yeah.
And that's powerful when you have lenders that can do that and lenders that are willing to do that. As far as that goes, reaching out, you can do a 3-way, you can do as far as 3-way phone call. You can go ahead and put them in direct contact. I know that other agents in the office have done the same thing as far as having the lenders contact the sellers, and it's locked down because of the agents. Once again, our ability to focus on our job, not having to worry about other things in the team effort. I know Julie's talked about it. I know Hugo's talked about it, where having that lender reach out, and it's that added touch, that added confirmation that our buyers are strong, they're ready to go, and we can close this quickly if that's what you want to do.
Yep, good stuff, man. Powerful. So that's the first benefit when you work with our team here. Step number 1, getting the loan approval. The second thing is home search. Right, so home search. So now this is powerful, you guys. Pay attention on this. Most real estate agents only show you homes that you yourself can find online. And the reason, because the moment, so you guys need to understand how the MLS works, right? So the MLS power is so powerful. The moment you input a listing into the MLS, then that one listing get automatically syndicated to over 15,000 end user website. That means everybody can see it, right? So this inventory is often picked over, overpriced, overwhelming. Every buyer can find these homes. This is like standing on a 10-mile long outside Walmart on a Black Friday. You have no advantage over competing buyers. Don, have you ever been on a standing in line on a Walmart? So Don, can you talk more about this, the power of the MLS, and when they work with you, how are you able to look at homes that's not only available online, but it's not available online?
Well, once again, because we're focusing on our clients, not having to worry about what the rest of the team is doing, not worrying about the paperwork. I mean, we're worrying about the paperwork, but we've got people that help us with that. Some of the things that we have the advantage is we can actually find off-market properties. We have a large selection of in-house. We actually have on our website properties that are not listed on the MLS that our office has access to. It's not what you want to call pocket listings. You could refer to it as that, but our office, we actually post within the office. We can't put it on the MLS, but we can post within the office and give other agents. And we've had deals that have never hit the MLS because an agent has been looking. They maybe were looking in Rosemead. They may be looking in San Gabriel Valley and things like that. So they may see or be looking for a certain property. And in the process of doing that, one of the first things I'll do is I'll go to our sellers in waiting and try to find properties that fit the criteria and try to get it where, hey, I'm not competing with other individuals as far as that goes.
Yeah.
You can find expired listings. I've contacted, once again, if I find a client is interested in a neighborhood, or they're looking for a certain type of property in a neighborhood, I can go back on the expired listings and I'll view expired listings and see. I'll reach out to some of the agents. I'll go door knock. I'll leave letters. There's things that I'll do that I will reach out to try to find out more information as far as that goes. I've actually had it where I've gone into escrow. I had a client, they found a home in a certain neighborhood. This is in the past. But I've actually gone into that neighborhood. They found a home. It was a Lennar, what they call a next gen. So it had that additional little unit that was attached. And for their family purposes, they needed that for grandma, they needed that additional unit. We found a home that they actually absolutely loved, but we were late on the offer. We couldn't get it went into escrow before we get an offer in.
Yeah.
But based on that, I was able to turn around, and from there, I did a neighborhood search on that particular floor plan. There were 46 homes that had that particular floor plan. I went up, door knocked, and left letters saying, hey, I've got a buyer interested in purchasing your home. And we actually got a response. And the advantage of that is, hey, you don't have to show the property. We can negotiate a price. We can potentially reduce, commissions as far as that goes. So there's a benefit to the seller. And the only thing is, hey, here's an offer based on my clients, the buyer's interior inspection. They went in, they inspected the home. They said, yeah, we like the home. Now if we can negotiate a price, we were able to negotiate a price and we closed that transaction. So we can actually find off-market properties for our clients also. And there's a number of ways that we do that also.
That is
And it's a benefit to our clients.
Yeah, that is so powerful, Don. Did you guys hear what Don was saying? So when you hire Don, right? So this is how our home buying system is, right? So because we now have an exclusive relationship with the buyers, Don, now we know exactly what our buyers' clients are looking for. Then we're gonna go straight we're looking at the map. We're literally looking at the map and see which houses that match our client's criteria. Then we go straight to the owner of the house and we are presenting offers, cash offer directly to the owners of the house. We work behind the scenes to find you homes that the average agent and the other buyers don't know about. Homes that's not available online, unlisted homes, distressed properties, new homes, new construction, expired, cancel, everything that Don was talking about. In many cases, you will be the only buyers to know about these homes. There's no competition with the other buyers because what Don was saying is that, I just want to make sure, Don, because this concept is so, is it revolutionary? I don't know. It's like nobody else is doing it because
it's
everybody
foreign to a lot of agents. They don't think about it. They don't do it. If you have a solo agent that's trying to be everything to everyone all the time, they can't focus on just the client as far as that goes. So it's, in some cases, it's foreign, or they don't want to waste their time. And that's where, once again, what is the benefit of using our team? And it's because we will do that research. We will go that extra mile for you to find the property that you're looking for. You mentioned new home sales and stuff like that, or off market. That's one of the things that I tell people. I've had clients tell me, "Oh, I don't want you to have to go to the open house. I don't want you to have to go to the new home." It's like, no. If you're going to go out and look at properties, I want to be there with you, because every property that I go through with you, I learn more about what you're looking for, more about what your likes, more about what your dislikes are. And after me going out 2 or 3 times with a client, and sometimes I'll pick it up, day one, depending on, I can lock in on what they're looking for. And then based on that, that will narrow my search, which will help them as far as their search to find their ideal home. And it can shorten the time as far as that goes. And each time that I go out with the clients, I'm locking it in more and more. And then, hey, if we need to go back, hey, I love this neighborhood. There's some new home tracks where, hey, they love the new homes, but there's certain things that you got a lot of things you have to do. Okay, I got to put in a yard. I got to put in the blinds. I got to do this. I got to do that. Where, hey, if you can buy a resale, what I call a resale home, that they already did that. It's 1.5, 2 years old. They already have the backyard in, they already have the flooring, they already have the blinds. You're paying a similar price to the brand new construction, or less potentially, and you already have all of that in. So there's different things, thought processes and things that I talk to the clients about. So that's where I tell them, hey, you're not wasting my time. The more time I spend with you, the more time I can lock in on what you're looking for.
Yeah, we work for you, right? So how will you benefit from our home search system? We will give you an unfair advantage over other buyers by finding you a selection of homes that most other buyers will not even know about. So that way, you can be on the front of the line. Imagine having access to exclusive homes that match your criteria that's not available to the general public. So this is the benefits of working with us. And I think, Don, I think this post-NAR settlement, I think is beautiful, Don, because now once we have an agreement with the buyers, now we can focus on looking for homes that match their criteria on offline.
Oh
So
yeah, no, yeah, I think it's a benefit for both as far as that goes, because now you know that it's a dedicated, I've had clients in the past, hey, they're working with a couple of different agents and stuff like that. And it's like, hey, I didn't have that real issue to a certain point because, like I said, when I'm out with the client, they see the benefit, the value. Because to me, once again, it goes back to it's not just about the home. It goes into other things. What's your goals, long term, short term? What are you looking to accomplish? Things like that. So trying to find out what their desires are, and then based on that, I'm looking at it. But with this, when you're locking in an agent that you're going to work with, they're going to be able to determine what those goals are, or what they're looking for, what they're really looking for in a home.
yep. So let's talk about market dynamics. Let's talk about market dynamics, Don. Well, what do you see in the market today? When you so which area you're working with, and what are you seeing? Do you see more inventory? Do you see a lot of homes for sale, or what's going on in the market today?
You've got a mix as far as depending on the homes that are, like, in a lot of cases, once again, if they're turnkey and ready to go, they're going to be on the market for a shorter period of time. As far as that goes, like I said, going back to the one example, as far as the property in Inglewood, I mean, it was literally, we were in escrow, it was over asking price. I mean, there were a lot of things that were going on with it, but it was in escrow in 7 days. You've got other properties that may be sitting there, 30, 60, 90 days or longer. So the inventory you've got less inventory. You still have a lot of buyers that are on the sidelines, although talking to other agents, and that's one of the things that I try to do. And one of the advantages of having our office, we've got a large number of agents, and we do masterminding and office meetings continuously so that we have more up-to-date information. You're getting more activity now. Interest rates have dropped. So you have some more buyers now. Hey, their prices have come back in. Now they might be able to afford another $40,000 or $50,000, depending on what they're looking as far as financing with the interest rates drops. And that's one thing I'd encourage. If you're talking to an agent or something like that 6 months ago or even 2 months ago, reach back out, because that's something that you can look at, because you can now buy more home. Part of the problem with the inventory though now is you still have sellers that are on the sideline. Because if you have a seller that has a 3.5%, 4% interest rate loan, even if they're looking to downsize, they may not be able to downsize because they're looking at hey, I still have a 5.5%, 6.5% interest rate loan. So the interest is holding back not only buyers, but it's also holding back sellers. So next week, I think they have the Fed meeting coming up, where they're going to be discussing interest rates, and if they're actually going to do the drop that as anticipated. Keep in mind that rates have already been kind of built into a certain point, not the full anticipated rate drop, but at least a partial. If the Fed drops the rates the way that the market thinks they will, there should be an additional drop in that rate. If they don't drop as much, then you'll probably see a little bit of a bump. So that's going to be a determining factor on where the next phase of the market goes. If you see it go lower, that's where, some people, even sellers, are they looking for that 5% rate? Once it hits 5%, then I can afford to downsize. Then I can afford to move, because now I can afford the new monthly payment. I'm not paying more on my mortgage for a smaller property than I'm currently paying in the home that I own right now.
Yep.
So we do have somewhat limited inventory, but the homes that are turnkey and ready to go in most cases are going quicker than the other ones.
Yep. So when you do one-on-one, when you set up a one-on-one private consult with our team here, what Don is doing is that he's on the market dynamics. He's going to share with you the relationships between active listings, homes under contract, homes that have sold in the area that you're looking for. And then we're going to share with you the list to sell ratio in that marketplace. We educate you on the microeconomics in that marketplace that you're looking at, how it benefits you. The data will help us to create the compelling offers once we find the right home, so that you can get you the best possible deals, right? So the next thing we talk about offer research. Don has shared a lot on this offer research at the beginning, so we are not going to repeat that again. And this is the single most important negotiation skills in this market today, right? So because what our job is, what Don is going to do is that Don is basically putting together the deals that is important for the owner of the house. To get you the best deals, we need to create a strategic offers that the seller feels compelled to accept. In our training, what do we call it, Don? Put together the ultimate offer package so good that the seller feels
Yep.
stupid saying no. Right?
Yep.
But how can you do that? How can you put together the ultimate offer package that's so compelling, it's so good that the sellers feel stupid saying no? And this is it. So Don had shared at the beginning, for those of you who came in a little bit late, make sure you watch the recording, because at the beginning part of the show here, Don is sharing how he's having a conversation on figuring out what's most important for the owner of the house, so that he can put together a compelling offers that gets you the best deals. And then, Don, you want to talk about some of the what's in the ultimate offer package, right? So, number one, obviously the price, but remember, this is not just random numbers. Don already figuring out what's most important as far as the purchase price, the closing cost, the contingency, the deposit, the settlement date, because he took the time initially before he even showed the home, before he write the offers, he already had the conversation. So by the time he submit the offer, it's not a blind offers, meaning he's not like submitting an offer and cross his fingers hoping it's gonna work. Due to the number of transactions that we do, I will be able to assist you with all these services. So, Don, can you speak about some of these offer components? We submit every offer in an organized, strategic proposal, and also coach the listing agent on how to present the offers to the best possible way.
Yeah, so
So,
I mean, with the ultimate offer package, there's a number of things that we can include in there. Obviously we do the introduction letter. It gives information about us. It gives information as far as the offer itself. What is the price? We'll look at what's beneficial as far as, FICO scores, debt to income ratio, are these things, how much are we putting down, number of days that we're looking to close. I'm highlighting the things that the listing agent has said that are important to the seller. Are we doing a 21-day close? If that's something that's important to the seller, I'm going to say, okay, we're going to close within 21 days. We can actually, and we actually could do, hey, we'll do $1,000 guaranteed close on time situation, as long as it's not our buyers or our side's delay. If the sellers delay it for some reason, you're not going to get paid on that. But if we do our guaranteed close, then hey, if we don't close on time, we're going to pay $1,000 or $2,000 or whatever we may put into the package as far as that goes. We're going to have a fully underwritten approval. In my case, that's what I'm looking to do, is I want to have that underwritten approval when I'm including it in the offer package. I want to have a letter from my clients. Now, there's differences of opinions as far as that goes, but I want to have it so that they understand, hey, there's a reason why my clients want to buy this property. Introducing them as far as, hey, once again, they're looking for, this is going to be their first home. It's certain things. I try to take out certain things that they look at as far as could be discriminatory or could be directive as far as that goes. But I do want to have a letter going in. And I'm doing that for my client. Once again, it's for my client's benefit. The other side determines what they're going to do with that as far as that goes. I'm going to have in that package, I'm going to have proof of funds. I'm going to have the offer contract as far as that goes. I'm going to have the terms that I'm trying to put into as far as being the most beneficial for the seller in the contract itself. I want to make sure that it's clean. If I can write as clean an offer, once again, if I can get them to mine's clean and they don't have to counter it versus another 10 that aren't and they have to counter, there's a good possibility that mine, and I've had that happen, where mine's going to get chosen over the others from day one without even doing multiple. I've had where I've had 10 offers go in and mine was accepted without doing multiple offer situation.
yeah.
So, that's where it's having that communication, and not just my communication with the listing agent, but also having the lender do the communication as far as that goes.
So all these offers, we package it in one organized manner. And how it benefits you, we will work to make sure that you do not give away the power to the seller. So we need to have clean offers. But this, when we talk about clean offers, what it's important for the sellers. And how is it important to the sellers? Because you, Don, you take the time initially to figure out what's most important for the sellers. Now, 6 contract period. This is what all this, by the time we get to this level, we already know what we're looking for. Don, you want to go through just a simple home buying timeline here from the time we're getting a pre-approved? Well, actually, I'm just going to read it here. So basically, it's getting pre-approved, finding the real estate agents, interview the agents, what you're looking for. That's why we are doing this video to help you. When you interview a real estate agent, this is the kind of stuff that you're looking for. The agent is not just a door opener. The agent who you work with matters, right? So finding the dream homes. How are we finding off-market deals, homes that's not available online? Or are you just a door openers, right? Or would you be interested to have access to homes that's not available to the general public? Would you be interested to have priority access to homes that's not available to avoid multiple offers? And Don was talking about getting home inspection, the appraisal, the mortgage people that he's working with, giving you the free appraisals. And then getting the loan approvals, closing, and then the move-in time. This is the timeline. So, Don, on your average clients, the one that you just closed escrow this week, how long does it take from the first time getting pre-approved? Well, I guess there is no average because everybody's different. So, if assuming the consumer is engaged with you, right? Assuming the consumer is engaged with you, meaning they have nothing going on in their personal life that's hindering any one of this step. But from the first time they meet with you, getting pre-approved all the way till getting the keys to the house, well, I know it's hard. I know this is a hard question. I don't know, but just for the fun, for the sake of conversation, I guess. Let's say your last 5 closing done. How long does it take from the pre-approved to move in?
So yeah, so as far as from the pre-approval to the move-in, once again, it's going to depend upon how quickly the buyer finds the property that they want to make the offer on. As far as that goes, it's probably about 2 months.
Yeah.
As far as that goes, is what my estimated, on the last 5. I'll be honest with you, I've had some close as quickly as 21 days. The first property they saw, they wanted to make an offer on it, and we were off to go. I've got one client that I've still been working with for 8 years. He has not bought a property from me yet, but I've represented 2 of his family members because they see the dedication. To me, this is not a one and done. This is not a short-term thing. I'm not, hey, you have to make an offer. Hey, I've shown you 3 properties. You need to make an offer on one of these. Going back to my ministry, I'm here as a resource. I'm given certain God-given talents and abilities. And I really feel that if I'm not using that, if I'm not giving that away, I'm not serving my Lord. It's part of the parable of the talents. And I feel if I'm not giving those talents away, then I'm not serving in the proper way. So that's where I feel that this is really part of my ministry. I've had clients that I've worked with 3 and 4 years. It's funny, Troy and Teresa, literally I met them. They were buying in Lake Elsinore and they wanted a lakefront property. One of the first properties I showed them, the first time they came out, they looked at a property based on the conversation. And once again, it's having a conversation with your clients and what are they interested in. They originally contacted me on one property that really didn't suit the needs that they were looking for. But based on that conversation, I set up a showing of about 3 other properties in the same area on the lakefront.
Yeah.
That first day that we went out, we looked at one of these properties. It was a situation where at that point in time, it was a manufactured home and a stick built. So there was a little bit of a potential issue with a appraisal on that because you can't find similar properties where they have a stick built and a manufactured home on the same property. Long story short, they couldn't get the financing together in time. It went into escrow. 2.5, 3 years later, that same property came back to market. I was still working with them. We made an offer on that property and we closed on that same property they viewed the first day that we went out, 2.5, 3 years later. And they've been, I mean, and the thing is we still have conversations now. I've actually helped them. They call me for information because they own other properties, and they call me for information on what they need to do with those. I've helped them to buy an investment property and others. To me, it's not just when I start working with clients, it's once again, it's not a one and done. I've been invited to family functions and birthday parties and things like that because in some cases it literally is where I become part of the family. So with Aziz and Mir, Amir is an individual that one of my clients. I've actually helped Mir buy and sell a home. I've actually helped him to, he's looking at investment property now potential, but I've helped his son and daughter-in-law buy a home. I've helped the daughter-in-law's parents buy a home. I helped his brother buy a home. So I've actually had 5 different transactions with that family in the last 8 years. Um, and it's actually been situations where now I'm trying to remember his name, but the brother, he actually, when it was short sales, I mean, when we were about 4 years ago and we were having problems with short sales, we were literally in escrow for 8 months and the market was jumping. And his family was telling him, you need to get into another property, you need to do this. Well, at that point in time, he literally walked into this property. And this goes back to where it's not just about the property, there's other things that go into it. The home that we found was actually a short sale. It had been a marijuana grow house. So where there was permitting issues and there was a issue with the electricity coming into the property, I helped that individual to negotiate, to work with the city, to negotiate the short sale process, to get the electricity reconnected to the property, to work with the city and look at having the structural. There were a couple of things that needed to be done to the property in order to get it up to code and permissible as far as that goes. Um, like I said, it was sitting there, the market was jumping, and we were staying in this short sale situation. And his family kept saying, you're not going to get it. You're not going to get it. You need to go on something else, get another agent. Lo and behold, we closed that transaction, and he literally probably walked in with 80 to $100,000 in equity. Um, the thing about it was I actually had the listing agent thanked me. I was actually the lender and the real estate agent on that particular transaction. But because of my involvement and the way that that thing worked out and my client staying the full course, that listing agent said thank you because he felt that if it was any other agent that had a separate lender, that deal would have fallen apart and they would have had to start the process all over again.
Yeah.
But like I said, and once again, that's where the family, we've been able to do 5 transactions, and I've gone to family functions with them on numerous occasions.
Yeah, so Don mentioned at the beginning also that who you work with matters, meaning all the services that we work with, right? So we work within an entire ecosystem of home services that directly impacted how that benefits you. So that story, Don, the people that you work with matters, right? The people that you
Yes.
work with is gonna make or break the deal. So to summarize, once you open escrow, all the dates, once you sign the residential purchase agreement, all the dates become live. And that's when we go to work, right?
Yep.
So how it benefits you is that we want to make sure that your transaction progresses smoothly to closing while maintaining your protection throughout the process. Don mentioned at the beginning, part of our ecosystem here, part of our benefits as for our clients, we are offering our clients access to legal. And then we talk about settlement, which is the closing, and then post-closing, like Don was mentioned about. Here in our team, we don't believe in just one transaction because we believe in a clients for life, right? Clients for life system, meaning the closing of escrow is not the end, it's just the beginning of our relationship. Wow, Don, look at that. Today we cover so much on this home buying process. So we're gonna wrap it up. We're gonna wrap it up the show here. But anything else, Don, that you wanna add as far as working with buyers in this market here to help not only the consumers as well as other real estate agents to be successful in this market today when working with buyers?
Yeah, it goes back to one of the things I said before is you don't learn anything from the easy ones. It's only the hard ones. And as you go through that, my experience is, and I'm blessed to be on the team that I'm on, Rudy and others, as far as the support that we get, the teamwork that we have. We've got so many things going on, and it's not just, you got to think Rudy's, he's not thinking about today, the here and now. I mean, his mind is ahead, looking ahead and seeing what is going on in the market. I know we just had a CDPE, certified distressed property expert training, because there is certain things with the economy the way it is. You've got a lot of 30, 60, 90-day delinquencies that are starting to come about, and you have a lot of things because of the way the financial industry has been, that there's a potential of that, and you're starting to see more of that come up. So the fact that he's saying, hey, we need to get our agents trained in this. Once again, it's another skill set that our team, our agents offer to our clients. There's a number of different things. We have the vendors, we have the support as far as the marketing for the listings. We have the transaction coordinators that help with the paperwork. All of that beneficial, the relationships that we have with the title and escrow companies. If we have a question, we can actually reach out to a title officer and talk to the title officer. I mean, all those things are beneficial, and it puts our team in a great situation. I think I have the strongest support system that I've ever had, in the process as far as that goes. I mean, if you got a property, hey, even I was just on a Zoom call last week with a client that has a property that was built in 1965, has original kitchen, original appliances, has a patio covered that is ready to come down. I mean, literally ready to come down. It looks like he's going to need to sell the property. So what we actually have is we have a vendor that will come in and that will do a renovation, what they call a renovate to sell, where they'll do the renovation if there's enough equity in the property to help give them a higher retail purchase price. So they'll put it in a full renovation so that we can sell for top dollar at the top of the market as far as that goes, and get the turnkey property that's ready to go, rather than trying to sell one that needs all these repairs, roof and floor and other things as far as that goes. I mean, it needs a full renovation. Those types of things, those types of supports that our team has and that Rudy has put into place, it's just awesome. And it gives us the ability to service our clients that much more and give so much more value depending on what they're looking to do, either buyer or seller, as far as that goes. And I'm just happy to be a part of the team and get the support that we have.
Yes, a lot of the market is rapidly changing, and people like you, Don, who always constantly learning, right? So that's why here in our team every day we mastermind with each other, we learn from each other best practices. Now, Don, can you share with everybody your contact information? Like, what is the best way? So if you're a home buyer thinking of buying a house, you like to have access to homes that's not available online, off-market deals, unlisted properties, all the 8 elements in working with buyers. If you want to reach out to Don on the buy side, if you're thinking of selling your house. So think about it, guys. If you're thinking of selling your house, Don already have the buyers in our system. We already have over 100,000 buyers in our database, pre-approved, ready to go, cash money, ready to close in about 2 weeks, right? So if you're thinking of selling your home, we can generate multiple cash offers for you because we already have the buyers. And not only we already have the buyers, each one of these buyers already attached to one of our buyer's agents. So if you're thinking of selling your home, you can skip the traditional hassle of trying to sell a house, right? So if you're thinking of buying a house, would like to get access to off-market deals, or if you're thinking of selling a house, you want Don to just give you multiple cash offer on your home, or if you're a real estate agent. I know, Don, you are building your group, right? Because you, one of the challenge, we don't have time to talk about it today. One of the thing the problem that we have now is that basically we have an overflow business. So we want to partner up with real estate professional so we can generate buyers and listing appointments for you. So if you're a real estate agent, you wanna make this year be your best year ever lived, so that we can just generate buyers and listing appointments for you. You can connect with Don. So Don, home buyers, home sellers, and real estate agents who are now partner up with you, what is the best way to connect with you?
So yeah, so my cell phone is 951-331-0123. That's 951-331-0123. You were talking about the cash offers. So we have a website actually through I've got a vanity one. So it's sendmecashoffers.com. And with that, that's one thing that we can go ahead and get taken care of as far as that goes for you. And then as far as the email, I'm currently at DShea, SHEA, DShea at your home sold guaranteed realty.com. And that would be the contact information.
Yep. Yourhomesoldguaranteed.com
I'm
is the
sorry. It's a mouthful.
So
But Rudy's got a there's a marketing philosophy behind that. So that's part of the genius as far as that goes.
yeah, go to www.yourhomesoldguaranteed.com. Under agents, you look for Don. You can send him a message from there. Don, are you on any Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, anything like that, or just phone call?
I mean, I am on Facebook. I need to start getting back into that more. I've kind of let that go to the side. So you can find me, Don Shea. As far as Facebook, I'm here currently in the Temecula Valley area. I've lived here, and that's one of the things. I'm an area specialist. I am doing, because of the office, I'm doing more Southern California. I do have experience, once again, 13 years worth of experience in negotiations and such. The home is a home. So I can definitely help out with any as far as buyers or listings. But I've been in the Valley here for, 35 years now, 36 years. I came out here in '88, had my family, kids, and everything raised out in this area. So it's something that I can definitely cover this area, but I can cover Southern California. I've gone down San Diego. I've closed in that area. And I've also been out in Los Angeles and the Orange County, up in the Riverside, those areas. I can definitely cover those areas for you.
Awesome, man. So if you're watching this, if you're thinking of buying a house, make sure thinking of selling a house, real estate agents want to partner up, call Don. Call Don. Once again, Don, can you share your cell phone number twice, slowly, so that way people can write it down?
Yeah, so it's 951-331-0123. That's 951-331-0123.
All right, guys. Thank you so much, Don, for your time today. I know you are busy today. We gotta go back to showing homes. So thank you, Don, for your time. Make it a great day, everybody. Once again, every Monday at 11 o'clock, I'm bringing here our superstar agent partner every Monday at 11 o'clock to help you be successful in this market today. Make it a great day, everybody. Go serve big.
Thanks, Rudy. Have an awesome day.